Okay, we move swiftly on now to the 4 tools to assist you in your journey. Now these are very simple tools, and I guess the first one is a tool that we've been using all our lives, or some of us stopped using it the minute we finished our leaving cert or our junior cert or whenever we left school. And that's the tool of education. We have to continually educate ourselves, and we have to educate ourselves on how money works, what money can do for us, and how we actually use it to improve our whole existence. It is absolutely critical that you educate yourself on finance and understand it and embrace it. Too many people leave the whole money thing to the Kevins of the world, to the me's of the world, and they say, I don't understand money, I just want to do my business. But we're saying spend as much time as you can on learning, and the philosophy is that the more you learn, the more you earn. Okay? That's the first tool, is develop a policy of education. Read a book, attending a webinar like this, so thanks to all of you who are on this webinar tonight. You're trying to learn more about what to do in your personal life and in your business.
Just to throw in the extra line there, Kevin, here again, on the education. The book a week is super, but as an accountant, I can tell you this in one line. You know, showing someone a set of accounts, showing a business owner a set of their own accounts is like showing them last year's newspaper. You know, they have no interest in it. They're really only looking at the now, today, and the future, like getting out of debt today, or feeding their kids, or paying off their house, or retiring early. So, yeah, you're right, Derek. You know, the more people are educated, really, an accountant shouldn't be able to tell them anything that they don't already know. Accounting is really about forecasting the future, setting the targets, and bringing in the reality in line with what we had planned a year earlier, a week earlier, a quarter earlier, whatever. So, you know, just to reinforce your point there on the education.
Okay, the next tool we use is a tool called planning. Now, if I met 20 clients in the next 2 weeks and I mentioned to them the whole idea of having a plan for their business, the vast majority of them, they would glaze over at the thought of having to do a plan. Yet, you know, we've heard Roy Keane say that if you fail to plan, you plan, or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And most people don't have a plan. So if you don't have a plan, then you're going to struggle to achieve anything in the next few months. And when it comes to your personal financial planning, you have to take responsibility for that. If you leave all that to your financial advisor or anyone else who has a vested interest in your well-being, they're the ones that will profit from it and not necessarily you. So you need to plan exactly where you want to be financially in your business and in your life, even just for 90 days. 90 days is 12 weeks. It's very tangible. You can set tasks that you can actually do every week. It's like going to the gym. But you have to start off with a plan. So if you're currently in debt to the tune of €500 a month, you have to set a plan about how you're going to turn that around. Okay, and if you don't do that, you know, this is basic stuff. But without the plan, we're going to struggle. And we're going to, at the end of tonight, you know, one of the things that we're offering you is to get you started in that plan. And I'll take you through a bit more about that later on. The next tool then is the tool of accountability. Now, it's all very well educating yourself and having a plan, but if you don't share your plan with someone else who's going to hold you accountable to do that plan, who's going to be your unreasonable friend, then again, you're going to let yourself off because you're always going to be easier on yourself. So what we suggest, and we would suggest it because we're coaches, we're saying get yourself an accountability coach. It could be your spouse, it could be a friend, as long as they're unreasonable, or it could be someone else that actually cares about your well-being as well. Now, no one should care about it as much as you, but accountability must be there if you're going to succeed and kind of push through the pain barrier. Because you are where you are at the moment, because you're in a certain level of comfort. It might be doing your head in, it might be stressful, but you wouldn't be there if it was that uncomfortable. And what we're saying is, if you have a plan that's going to take you out of that, you need someone to help you push you through. With that, added on to that, if you continue to work your plan, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get you into the habit of doing and implementing the strategies on your plan. What we're talking about is routine. What we're talking about is repetition. And you have to keep doing it for about 21 days before it becomes a habit. So if part of your plan is to do your budget every day and write down what you spend every day, you have to do that for about 21 days before it becomes a habit and you start to do it normally. I did that exercise back in August as I was doing a 100-day financial plan. And I thought myself that, well, I don't really spend any money during the week or the month. I just take enough money for petrol and enough money for the odd road toll or sandwich. At the end of the month, I'd spent €1,000 on this and that, and I couldn't actually put my finger on what it was. It was all unnecessary spend, apart from the petrol to get the car from here to there. But at the end of the day, you'd be surprised at how much money gets frittered away, and that money would have been the difference between success and failure. So what I'm saying is we need to develop new habits, new routines. We need to share our plan with someone who's going to hold us accountable, but make sure the plan is rock solid. And the way you can do that is by giving yourself a good education about how to get yourself out of the mess. And what we're going to do at the end is we're going to put you on that road to develop your whole education strategy.